Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my review of this light, the Imalent DX80, a 32,000 lumen flashlight. And here is the light itself. This is a very large light because, well, it needs a lot of battery power to give it endurance with, this much brightness. But here it is in a human hand, at least I think he's human. No, just kidding. Yeah, it's a big, large, and in charge flashlight. And check out the emitters. It has 8 emitters, each with its own reflector well with orange peel texture there. Now notice all the structures on the head of the light like a radiator. You've got these cooling grooves and baffles to disperse the heat that will be generated by this monster. Now this comes with a belt pouch. It has a Velcro overflap and it has belt loops on the back. It also comes with a charging cable and an adapter, some spare O-rings, and it comes with a lanyard which you can attach to that cable that it also comes with. Now here are the stats on the light. As you can see, it has 6 different brightness levels. The maximum beam distance 806 meters, maximum lumens 32,000. And you see the run times there as well. Now this is all controlled by a single side switch. To turn it on, you just press this. Right, that is the lowest mode. To change modes or brightness levels, continue to press. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And to get to the last mode, you double tap. And that is the 32,000. Strobe warning. Double tap again for strobe. And there you go. Long press to turn it off. Now when the light is off, you can also just shortcut to the turbo mode with a double tap. This also has a memory function, so it will remember the brightness level it was turned off in, except for turbo. Right, so memory function for the first 5 brightness levels. Okay, I turned off all the lights because, it's just a little more romantic. No, kidding. I want to show you the data screen. It'll show you the lumens you're getting, so no guesswork. If you triple tap this, it will also show you the voltage and the remaining battery life. Voltage and battery. This will also show you if you're locked out or if the lockout is turned off. Right, see that little icon? This is powered by a battery pack which contains 8 18650 batteries inside it. And to remove the battery pack, you just unscrew this. Right, so inside this there are 8 18650s. To recharge the light, you plug the recharging cable into the charging port and you plug this into any normal electrical socket. When the light is recharging, you will see the recharging icon on the data display. Okay, YouTube, we are out here on the old testing board with this Imalent light. Let's cycle through the brightness levels. Okay, that is as bright as it gets, and it's just complete whiteout. That was pretty insane. I mean, let's see that again, okay? Turbo, right here. Okay, YouTube, we're out here on the road with this Imalent flashlight. Let's go full turbo. Wow, the daylight just arrived. There's the road. It is the middle of the night. That is pretty crazy. Behold, that's my shoe. Behold, the power of the Lord of Light. Alright, we are on the sports field with this Imalent light. Let's go full turbo. There's a lot of stuff in the air, but this is cutting through. And I am way back here. Alright, here with the Imalent light, we're going to light up a fairly large hill. I see deer on the top of that hill all the time. Let's go full turbo. Wow. And I don't know if you can tell from the perspective, but this is a very large hill. Yeah, this is a very large hill. I often see the silhouettes of deer on the top of this hill, and they're tiny. This is zoom in. Yeah, I mean this is quite the hill. And this thing just illuminates all of it. I mean, alright YouTube, I'm on a different road with this Imalent light. Let's get fired up. Bam, here comes the sun. Let's shine it down this road, see what we can see. Alright, and you might be able to hear Frog Creek in the background. As you can see, there's no lights on this road. This is like a deserted country road, pretty much. And without the light, nothing. Lighting up the whole road once again. Alright YouTube, Frog Creek is flowing strong. Let's go full turbo. Wow, Frog Creek lit up like we've never seen it before. That's crazy. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the air, but I mean, this thing is just super impressive. Alright YouTube, we're at the lake. It's kind of a lake with some swamps around it, and yeah, lighting up a body of water with this Imalent light. Alright, just another view of the lake, and let's go full turbo once again. Yeah, just lighting up the entire lake. There's so many turtles right here in the daytime. There's so many turtles all over this place. It's like 3 a.m. It's about 28 degrees. And what's over here? Just some, just like a primordial swamp. There's a lot of animals around here. Okay, YouTube, I have one more job for this Imalent light. So I'm at another sports field. It's actually a track and then 2 sports fields side by side. Alright, let's go see what we can see. Okay, so I'm at the goalpost of one goal of this sports field. Let's go full turbo. And there's the other goal from the other field. Wow, this is just lighting up a huge area. Even though there's a lot of moisture in the air, you can see that just rising from the field as, we got frost and then it melted and then frosted again and so forth. But this is without a doubt the brightest light so far that I've ever seen. And we are back, YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, let's do pros and cons for this beast. Alright, let's do the benefits first. Alright, this thing is amazingly, incredibly ultra bright. It has over 800 meters maximum beam distance. Now that doesn't mean you're going to use it at 800 meters. That means, if a bit over 800 meters is the farthest it can reach, imagine how much light you're going to be getting at 100, 200, or 300 meters. That's really the significance of that stat. Now, Imalent used to use 2 switches for their interface. This one only has 1. They've implemented it really well. First of all, this light is just, it's too big and long to put a tail switch on because you're not going to be doing this in the reverse grip. Right, so they kind of had to use a side switch, but they made the side switch so big that I have to say it's the easiest possible side switch to find in the dark by touch. I mean, it's just so big, you can't miss it. And because this has a lockout feature, the one drawback of accidental activation, not really an issue. The data screen readout is great because it removes the guesswork. You don't have to guess how many lumens you are at. You don't have to guess at the voltage because it will tell you. It will tell you how much battery life is remaining. When you hook it up to recharge it, it'll tell you if it's hooked up properly, and it will show you the progress of the recharging. And when you do lockout or turn off the lockout, it will tell you that too. Another benefit of this light is the endurance. It has eight 18650 batteries in that battery pack, right? Because if this only had 4, those batteries would be drained in no time. You know, I definitely think it was a good move, even though they had to make this a huge heavy light to put all those batteries. It definitely makes the maximum lumens like more practical to actually use. This also has really good heat dissipation. I've had lights that were less bright that got hot way faster, and it's all because this thing has so much mass that acts as a heat sink. The heat is dispersed through that mass, plus all the baffles and ridges there, those are to increase the surface area, so the heat dissipation on this has been done really well. Another benefit is that this is rechargeable. You don't have to dismantle the battery pack to recharge the batteries individually, and the charging time is pretty fast. They say it's around 3 hours, but that's if the batteries are totally drained, so nobody drains them completely usually, so less than 3 hours. That's pretty good. Now this also has intelligent temperature control, so if this thing gets too hot to the point that it might damage itself, it will immediately step down to 7,000 lumens. All right, now let's try to think up some negatives about this light, because to make an honest and balanced review, you know, you have to try and do pros and cons. So I'm not trying to bash the light, but let me just play devil's advocate. What are some possible drawbacks? Well, it's a very large and heavy light, right? So even though it comes with a pouch, I would never carry something like this on my belt probably. It's more the type of thing you would have in a vehicle, or maybe you would just keep it in your house, and then for short spans of time, if there was an emergency, you would shine it from some vantage point, or just on a quick patrol of your property, right? But it's not the type of thing that I would want on my belt for an extended period of time. And also the recharging cable, it's not the typical, you know, USB to micro USB, right? It's a more specialized recharging cable, at least for flashlights, so don't lose that cable. Another drawback, it does get hot eventually in the turbo mode. That's really just any light that's this bright is going to eventually get hot. So that just goes with the territory with this much brightness, but you should be aware of it. Don't leave it on in turbo and set it down. Another drawback, which is common to any rechargeable flashlight, is the charging port. You know, the charging port, it has a cover, but of course any charging port on a light is also a weak point where possibly water or debris could work its way in there. Again, that's just a factor of they wanted to make it rechargeable. So my final thoughts on this, it is an awesome light overall. I mean, it is so bright and it has such good range. It dominates, you know. So who should buy this light? I mean, aside from people that are enthusiasts and just really are into the technology that goes into it, and basically people like myself that are flashlight nerds will love it, of course, you know, flashlight collectors. But who else might benefit from this light? Well, I can imagine it has a lot of search and rescue applications because of the range and brightness. I mean, you saw what it did to those fields that I lit up. You know, if you were searching for someone in like a huge area, this would be useful. Now, obviously, don't shine it in someone's eyes, but there's times when, you know, you're really far away, you're overlooking a ravine, and you need range and power. You know, so search and rescue. And also, this thing is so bright, there's just an intimidation factor. Like if you're doing any type of security work, like anyone on the receiving end of the turbo mode or the strobe, they're not even going to be able to look at you. Which in certain situations, like if you're confronting people that might be armed, it's good that they won't be able to look at you and that you'll see every detail of them. You know, it's very intimidating. I mean, it's like one of those police helicopters they have in big cities. If that light shines down on you, you're going to probably stop and you're probably going to assume that it's the police. So yes, highly recommended for coolness factor, for search and rescue, for security, especially large areas of ranch land, like very intimidating, you know, huge warehouse complexes and things like that. I hope you enjoyed seeing this light. This has been We All Juggle Knives and Lights. I'm out.